Alexander I of Macedon, commonly known as Alexander the Great, is one of history's most celebrated military commanders and empire builders. Born in 356 BCE in Pella, the ancient capital of Macedonia, Alexander's conquests between 334 and 323 BCE reshaped the ancient world. His empire stretched from Greece in the west to India in the east, encompassing vast territories that had previously been ruled by the Persian Empire. His military genius, coupled with a visionary approach to governance and cultural assimilation, established a legacy that influenced subsequent generations. This essay explores Alexander's conquests, focusing on the key battles, strategies, and the enduring impact of his empire. Alexander's ascent to power began in 336 BCE after the assassination of his father, King Philip II of Macedon. Philip had already laid the groundwork for Macedonian supremacy in Greece, uniting the Greek city-states under his rule through diplomacy and military force. Alexander inherited a well-trained army and a stable kingdom, but he was also determined to surpass his father's achievements. Educated by the philosopher Aristotle, Alexander was well-versed in philosophy, science, and the arts. This education not only shaped his intellectual pursuits, but also influenced his approach to leadership and governance. Alexander saw himself as a new Achilles, destined for greatness, and he quickly set his sights on the Persian Empire, the largest and most powerful empire of the time. In 334 BCE, Alexander crossed the Hellespont into Asia Minor, marking the beginning of his campaign against Persia. His first major victory came at the Battle of Gaugamela, where he defeated a Persian satrapal army, securing a foothold in Asia Minor. This victory was crucial, as it demonstrated Alexander's military prowess and convinced many Greek city-states in Asia Minor to submit to his rule. Following Gaugamela, Alexander moved southward, capturing key cities along the coast, including Sardis, Ephesus, and Miletus. His strategy was to neutralize the Persian navy by capturing coastal cities, thus preventing them from using the sea to their advantage. This strategy would become a hallmark of Alexander's campaign, securing supply lines and minimizing enemy strengths while maximizing his own. In 333 BCE, Alexander faced Darius I, the Persian king, at the Battle of Issus. Despite being outnumbered, Alexander's tactical brilliance led to a decisive victory. Darius fled the battlefield, leaving behind his family, who were captured by Alexander. This victory not only demoralized the Persian forces but also bolstered Alexander's reputation as an invincible commander. After Issus, Alexander turned his attention to the Levant, where the island city of Tyre posed a significant challenge. Tyre was a well-fortified city with strong naval defenses, and its capture was essential for securing the eastern Mediterranean. Alexander's siege of Tyre in 332 BCE is one of his most famous military achievements. Unable to breach the city's defenses by conventional means, Alexander constructed a causeway, allowing his troops to reach the city walls. After 7 months, Tyre fell, and Alexander's dominance over the eastern Mediterranean was secured. Following the fall of Tyre, Alexander marched into Egypt, which had been under Persian control for nearly 2 centuries. The Egyptians, weary of Persian rule, welcomed Alexander as a liberator. In 331 BCE, he founded the city of Alexandria at the mouth of the Nile River. Alexandria would later become a center of learning and culture, symbolizing the fusion of Greek and Egyptian cultures. In Egypt, Alexander was declared the son of the god Amun, reinforcing his status as a divine ruler. This declaration not only solidified his rule over Egypt, but also helped legitimize his authority across his empire, as many of his subjects saw him as a god king. The decisive battle between Alexander and Darius I took place in 331 BCE at Gaugamela, near modern-day Mosul in Iraq. Despite being heavily outnumbered, Alexander's use of innovative tactics, such as the oblique formation and coordinated cavalry charges, led to a resounding victory. Darius fled the battlefield once again, and his empire began to crumble. Following Gaugamela, Alexander marched to Babylon, Susa, and Persepolis, the ceremonial capital of the Persian Empire. In a symbolic act of retribution for the Persian invasion of Greece a century earlier, Alexander ordered the burning of Persepolis. This act marked the end of the Persian Empire and the beginning of a new era under Macedonian rule. With Persia subdued, Alexander turned his attention eastward, determined to push the boundaries of his empire. His campaigns in Central Asia were some of the most challenging and grueling of his career. He faced fierce resistance from local tribes, difficult terrain, and the logistical challenges of maintaining supply lines over vast distances. One of the most notable events during this period was the Siege of the Sogdian Rock in 327 BCE, where Alexander's forces scaled a seemingly impregnable fortress, capturing it and solidifying Macedonian control over the region. He also married Roxana, a Sogdian princess, as part of his strategy to integrate the local population into his empire. In 326 BCE, Alexander crossed the Indus River into the Indian subcontinent, where he faced King Porus at the Battle of the Hydaspes River. Despite Porus's use of war elephants, Alexander's tactics once again proved superior, leading to a hard-fought victory. Impressed by Porus's bravery, Alexander allowed him to retain his kingdom as a vassal state. Despite his successes in India, Alexander's troops were exhausted and yearned to return home. In 325 BCE, after facing mutiny and the harsh conditions of the Gedrosian desert, Alexander agreed to lead his army back to Persia. Upon returning to Babylon in 323 BCE, Alexander began planning new campaigns, including an invasion of Arabia, but he would never see them realized. On June 10, 323 BCE, Alexander died in Babylon at the age of 32. His death, likely caused by fever or poisoning, left his empire without a clear successor. His generals, known as the Diadochi, eventually divided the empire among themselves, leading to the Hellenistic period, during which Greek culture and influence spread across the eastern Mediterranean and into Asia. Alexander's conquests were not just about territorial expansion, they also had a profound cultural impact. As he moved through different regions, Alexander encouraged the blending of Greek culture with the local customs and traditions. This process, known as Hellenization, led to the spread of Greek language, art, and architecture across his empire. The city of Alexandria in Egypt became a beacon of this cultural fusion. Home to the famous Library of Alexandria, the city attracted scholars, scientists, and philosophers from across the known world, fostering advancements in knowledge and the arts. The Hellenistic culture that emerged from Alexander's conquests continued to influence the Roman Empire and subsequent civilizations, laying the foundation for Western culture. Moreover, Alexander's image as a heroic figure persisted throughout history. He was admired by Roman generals such as Julius Caesar and Augustus, who sought to emulate his achievements. In the Middle Ages, he was romanticized in the Alexander Romance, a collection of legendary stories about his life and exploits. Even today, Alexander remains a symbol of military genius, ambition, and the complexities of imperial rule. Alexander the Great's conquests were unparalleled in their scope and impact. In just over a decade, he created one of the largest empires in history, stretching from Greece to India. His military strategies, leadership qualities, and vision for a culturally integrated empire left an indelible mark on the ancient world and shaped the course of history. While his empire ultimately fragmented after his death, the legacy of Alexander's conquests lived on through the Hellenistic period and beyond, influencing countless generations. Alexander's life and achievements continue to captivate historians, military strategists, and the general public, making him one of history's most enduring figures.